Shalom, Chaverim. It's Rubisa. This morning, I'm making one of my children's favorite Pesach bread.
Yummy, 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 yummy.
And I thought I'd read you a book about this very special food. A Sweet Passover by Leslie Newman and illustrated by David Slonim. Miriam loved celebrating Pesach at Grandma and Grandpa's house. She loved pinning a piece of lace on her hair, just like Grandma did, before they lit the two tall white candles and made a special beracha to begin the seder. She loved walking around the table with a towel draped over her arm, while Mommy poured water from a white pitcher over everyone's hands. She joyfully sang Manish Tana, the 4 questions, and listened to everybody reading the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, the Exodus from Egypt. She giggled at the way Daddy said, "Warm, warmer, hot," as she got closer and closer to finding the afikoman that he had hidden when he broke the middle matzah in half, and he tucked one of the pieces between the cookbooks high up on Grandma's shelf. She stood happily beside Aunt Rachel and Uncle Nathan when they opened the front door to welcome Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, and she laughed when Bubala the dog joined them and howled at the full moon. Miriam loved everything about Passover, but most of all, she loved eating matzah. And during the 8-day festival, she ate as much as she possibly could. On the first day, day 1, Miriam ate matzah and butter. On the second day, day 2, Miriam and Grandpa ate matzah with jelly. On day 3, the third day, Miriam and Aunt Rachel ate matzah with tuna salad. What's after third? After 3? That's right. On the 4th day, Miriam and Uncle Nathan ate matzah with egg salad. On the, that's right, 5th day, on day 5, Miriam and Mommy ate matzah with cream cheese. On day number 6, on the 6th day, Miriam and Daddy ate matzah with cottage cheese. On the 7th day, Miriam ate lots of matzah by herself. She ate matzah with almond butter and matzah with applesauce and apple butter and blueberry jam and strawberry jam. She ate plain matzah, egg matzah, whole wheat matzah, and chocolate-covered matzah. All week long, Miriam ate nothing but matzah, matzah, matzah! So that was up to day 7. Do you remember how many days there are in Pesach? 1 more than a week. We're going to get up to day 8. When she woke up on the last day of Pesach, Miriam was sick of matzah. All she wanted for breakfast was 1 thick slice of warm toast, or a soft chewy bagel, or a sweet cinnamon donut, or freshly baked blueberry muffins. But Pesach wasn't over until sundown, which meant that Miriam had to wait all day long before she could eat any of those things. "Miriam," called Grandpa from downstairs, "time for breakfast." Miriam groaned and pulled the blanket over her head. "Aww. Miriam," called Grandpa again. "I'm not hungry." "Are you sure? I'm making French toast." "I'm coming!" Miriam jumped out of bed, dressed herself, and ran downstairs. And there was Grandpa with his apron tied around his waist and puffy chef's hat perched on his head. Good morning, Shana Madel. Grandpa gave Miriam a hug and a kiss on the kepi. Ready for some French toast? Miriam looked at the counter where Grandpa had placed eggs, milk, butter, and a frying pan. Where's the bread? Bread? I can't use bread, it's still Pesach. That's why I'm using matzah. Matzah? How can you make French toast with matzah? I'm making Pesach French toast. I'm making Matza Brei. Matza Brei? Yuck! Miriam folded her arms. I am never eating matzah again. Never? That's too bad. You don't know what you're missing. And then he began to cook. First, Grandpa crumbled the matzah and soaked it in warm water. Next, he cracked in some eggs and added a little milk and beat the mixture with a fork. Then he drained the matzah and poured the beaten eggs and the milk over it. Finally, Grandpa sliced butter into a great big frying pan. As soon as the butter began to sizzle, he poured the uncooked matza brei. When it was brown at the edges, Grandpa slipped his hand into a pair of oven mitts, placed a large plate on top of the frying pan, and flipped the whole thing over. Ta-da! Pesach French toast. Doesn't that look delicious? No, said Miriam, wrinkling up her nose. No more matzah for me. Suit yourself. Will you please set the table? Miriam took out the special Pesach dishes and put a plate at each spot. Just as she sat down the last fork and spoon, Mommy and Daddy and Aunt Rachel and Uncle Nathan and Grandma scrambled to the dining room. Mommy spooned applesauce on hers. Daddy poured maple syrup on his. Aunt Rachel sprinkled her slice with sour cream. Grandma added salt and pepper to her matza brei. Grandpa left his plain. Essen und gesund. Oh, Essen und gesund, said Grandma. Sorry, I had it right the first time. Essen und gesund, said Grandpa, picking up his fork. Eat in good health. Hi, this is good, said Grandma. Best I've ever had, added Mommy. May I have some seconds? Asked Uncle Nathan. Save another piece for me, said Aunt Rachel. My compliments to the chef, said Daddy. They were all so busy eating that no one noticed Miriam had nothing on her plate. Soon breakfast was over and all was quiet until Miriam's belly let out a loud rumble. Miriam, didn't you get enough to eat? No. Miriam is never, ever eating matzah again, Grandpa announced. Mommy and Daddy and Aunt Rachel and Uncle Nathan and Grandma all gasped. Never? Not even on Pesach? Asked Mommy. But Miriam, we always eat matzah on Pesach. How else will we remember that our ancestors were slaves in Mitzrayim, and when Paro granted them freedom, they had to leave in such a hurry they could not even wait for the bread dough to rise? How else will we remember that even the plainest food eaten in freedom tastes sweeter than the fanciest food of slavery? Daddy asked. That's why we say, have a Zissen Pesach, Grandma told Miriam. Have a sweet Passover. Matzah is such a simple food, it reminds us to be humble, explained Uncle Nathan. It doesn't puff itself up, and we shouldn't puff ourselves up either. It is a mitzvah to eat matzah. And just as the matzah was baked in a hurry, we should always hurry to do another mitzvah, added Aunt Rachel. Matzah goes with everything, Grandpa added, and reminds us we should get on with everyone. And if all of those weren't reason enough, Dayenu, Grandma added. Your grandfather happens to make the best matza brei in the whole world. Miriam looked around the table, each member of her family, and thought over what they had said. Then asked in her most humble voice, Grandpa, will you please help me make matza brei? Will you please make me a matza brei? Sorry, Miriam. I'm too full to cook. Please, Grandpa, pretty please with applesauce on top? Nope, I'm not making you a matza brei. Why not? Because, said Grandpa, handing her an apron and a puffy chef's hat, we're gonna make matza brei together. Miriam crumbled up the matza and beat the eggs while Grandpa melted butter in the frying pan. Miriam poured the uncooked matza brei into the pan as Grandpa fried it up. When the matza brei was ready, Grandpa set a big piece in front of Miriam. Essen in gesund, schöne Mädel. Eat in good health. Enjoy. And Miriam did. So there is a sweet Passover, and my family loves eating matzah with a lot of different things. And we love matza brei, and we eat ours with cinnamon and sugar on top. So leave your comments down below if you like matzah, and if you eat matza brei, and what you like to put on it. Moadim b'simcha.